How do I join up? What does this community mean to you? Is wheelchair basketball a real sport? Do you have to be in a wheelchair to play? Has the sport changed how you see yourself? Do you ever trip over during the game? How physical can it get? The biggest misconception about wheelchair basketball. Can you glam your ride? My name is Janna Mizens, and I'm the Wheelchair Basketball High Performance Manager here at Basketball New South Wales. Is wheelchair basketball a real sport? Wheelchair basketball definitely is a real sport. There's multiple forms of basketball, and wheelchair basketball being one of them, as long as deaf basketball, standing basketball, walking basketball. Wheelchair basketball was established at University of Illinois after the veterans came back after World War II, and it's been played globally. It's a very, very popular sport. We have the Paralympics every 4 years, and then the World Championships every 4 years as well. The biggest misconception about wheelchair basketball. I think the biggest misconception about wheelchair basketball is that you have to be in a wheelchair to play wheelchair basketball. Wheelchair basketball is probably the most diverse of impairments of a disabled sport. To play wheelchair basketball at the highest level, so representing your country, you have to be classified. So classification means based on your impairment, how many points you're allocated. So someone who's a high paraplegic, so they're not have a lot of movement, they'll be classified as a class 1. Somebody who might have a knee injury, below the knee amputee would be 4.5 classification. That was what my classification was. Out on the court, you have 5 players, have to equal 14 points adding them up. So their coach needs to be good with maths. However, when you play in a sports chair. So it's on a team of 12, probably 3-4 will be in a chair all the time. Some other ones might use some different calipers or crutches, or might have no mobility devices to get around because they have prosthetics and things like that. So you don't need to be in a wheelchair. You use a wheelchair just like a kayak to go kayaking, use a sports chair. Can you glam your ride? Yeah, this is really interesting. Just coming back from the Hall of Fame, one of my teammates totally glams her ride, but it's her everyday ride that she glams in terms of putting great covers over her spokes with whatever colors that you want. Back in the day, the wheels used to be spokes, and you would have a cover on it. Now, in terms of any international play, usually sponsorships and everything are all rights by the Paralympic Committee, so you have to have no sponsors. But now we use Spinergy, so you don't need those guards on your wheels. But in terms of glamming it, I know Lisa Tesh, a famous Australian here, she definitely was in a green chair, and that was probably all glammed. Your color of your chair, you can personalize that. I had an orange chair because University of Illinois is orange and blue, but for when representing USA, it was more silver because I'm like, let me stand up by my game and not by my chair. Do you ever trip over during the game? How physical can it get? All right, when I'm teaching wheelchair basketball, one of the first things you need to teach is how to pick up the ball. Right? Because if you go up head on to pick up a ball in a wheelchair, you're most likely are going to go over that wheelchair and trip and fall down. You know, when I played wheelchair basketball, I had knee pads on because I do. You know, you want to get that ball, you got that mungo going in there, so you put everything on the line. But do you trip? You're going to fall out of your chair. You know, you're always living on the edge to get the best out of you. So that potentially falling out could be an option, a result of that. Now, does it get physical? A lot of times you might, as a spectator, you might smell some sulfur or smell because your hand rims, they might hit up against someone else's hand rim. Now, you might hear the clashes and this and that, but in running game, you're doing a lot of short checks. You're touching the other opponent, you're hitting on exactly where they are. The thing in wheelchair basketball is you can hear that contact much more than in the running game. So it does get physical. You have your space, that's your cylinder, you clear the basketball, dominate that space, same as wheelchair basketball, same as running game. And yeah, I mean, any sport is physical, that's why we love it. Has the sport changed how you see yourself? Wheelchair basketball, as an athlete growing up, played basketball, volleyball, baseball. I had an injury in my knee with bone-on-bone infection, and so then I wasn't able to continue as an athlete. My whole identity was kind of lost as I was a sports person, and having that taken away from me, I wasn't quite sure where I was. And so when I volunteered for the 96 games and then found out that I could possibly participate, and then my first time that I played wheelchair basketball, to sit in a chair, to be free from pain and mobility impairment that I had and could just play the game, I was high forever. I was fast, I was free, I was moving around, I loved to be behind back passes, able to just flow and play basketball. So how does that change myself is that it gave me sport again. I got a scholarship to go to the University of Illinois, represent my nation. It has allowed me to access sport, which I think everyone should be able to access sport. So in terms of para sports, it definitely has allowed me to fully express myself and be who I am. What does this community mean to you? Just returning from the Hall of Fame and catching up with my teammates from 21 years. I mean, and that's at the highest level. I know this happens at all the different levels in wheelchair basketball. To be around community, that is so much more. You know, sports really becomes your sisterhood. It's really that family. You're able to, community, the wheelchair basketball community, or I think para sports community themselves, it just allows you to connect and care and go through things that you sometimes you're the only one that's going through it. It means a lot. It means a lot for our families and supporters to connect on that level when sometimes you feel like the world is definitely not built for you. So having a community that you can rely on and connect in ways that sometimes you feel very lonely is very moving and deeply needed, and it feels amazing. I'm very honored to be part of the community. Awesome. How do I join up? Excellent question. How do you play wheelchair basketball? So there's a lot of different ways that you can play wheelchair basketball. Wheelchair Sports New South Wales does a lot of club challenges in their local areas, a lot of hubs around the state. Take it to the next level, we have a state league that we have rounds coming up, and that's in the middle of the year. If you want to take it to the next level, we got the state performance program where you can be a part of learning the very highest level of wheelchair basketball. You don't have to be an expert now because the program's set up for you to develop those skills. So how do you join up? You check our webpage out and you can join up.